Hey there! Welcome to the first episode of our podcast. I'm Nick,
And I'm Paris.
and we're gonna go over some sports news that is in the current events, basically. So today I just want to start out before we go into any of the topics that we have written down here for us. I want to point out that the University of Nevada this weekend will be wearing special uniforms to tribute the victims of the Las Vegas tragedy. We also want to share sympathy for those who were lost in the tragedy over the weekend.
Our hearts go out to the victims and their families.
Well said. So we're going to start here. The first story we got today comes from Cam Newton. You know Cam Newton, right, Paris?
Yeah.
Panthers quarterback. In
Familiar
a
with them.
press conference, he was being interviewed, and I saw the video myself. It was very shocking, to say the least. In the video, you can see the interviewer, who is a female, ask Cam Newton about the routes that Devin Funchess was running in Sunday's win over the New England Patriots. And he starts to laugh a bit, and then he says, "It's funny hearing a girl talk about routes." Just think about that for a minute. In the middle of a press conference, nationally televised, I mean, the whole world's going to see it. He decides to just say, okay. I mean, it's funny to hear a girl talking about routes.
That's the thing actually about 2017 is we're at a different time. This maybe have had fly. I'm not talking all, but maybe in 2005 this would have just slipped through. But this is huge. You don't say that, especially during this time when all this is happening. You just don't say those type of things.
You know, and another thing too I want to point out is that a lot of the opinions I've been seeing on it is that it's not a big deal, and it kind of is a big deal. I mean, especially in 2017 now. And I don't mean that in a general statement, but nowadays you can't do that when everything's being nationally televised. You know, as the quarterback of the Panthers, you're representing that franchise. You are drafted to that franchise to be the face. The quarterback is the most important position. All eyes are on you. And you make a remark like that. It wasn't smart on his part, I don't think. And I think the Panthers came out with a statement and said that they talked to him and they disciplined him. And they said that Cam regrets his decision. Whether we choose to believe that or not is up to us. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what quarterback wouldn't come out in the middle of controversy and say, I'm sorry.
That's surprising for me. He seemed like an okay guy, to be honest.
Yeah, his attitude.
For him to say that, just
Right. His attitude on the field was definitely unmatched. I mean, he was always hyped up for games and stuff. And that's why people picked up on him a lot too, is because he had a lot of attitude on the field, and he's a very big community guy too. I don't know if a lot of people know that. He does a lot of things for his community too. He's very big in Charlotte, North Carolina, and for him to go out and do something like that, it's gonna mess everything up now. So I don't know. It probably wasn't the smartest decision on his part, but I don't know. That's just our opinion on that. If you guys have an opinion too, I mean, you could leave it down in the comments. We'd like to hear your opinion on that. It's going to be on Daily Motion.
tweet us at
JLawAdvocate. That is another one too. So next topic we got here, USC football player. That's University of Southern California, the Trojans. Anybody who doesn't know. They had a game last Thursday against Washington State. And after the game, one player got a little angry.
I did see this.
If you go to look up the video, you will see for yourself that it probably wasn't necessary to do that. But anyway, in the moment, a little angry after a huge upset in the college football world. Washington State takes down number 5 USC and shakes everything up now in the college football playoff. But besides that, the actual story here is that after the game, as any college football game usually has at the end if you're the home team, the student section likes to run down when they win games. They like to run on the field, celebrate. We do that here at Law sometimes. And this particular USC player, a little angry in the moment, one Washington State fan was just running by, did not instigate, did not do anything, didn't look like he said anything to him.
It didn't even look like he was even looking at the players that were running by
Yeah,
as
yeah.
he was passing through.
It didn't even look like he
So-
made any kind of attention to them. And the USC player who happened to be, I guess, if you want to say in firing range, just straight up knocked him over, just onto the ground. So USC found the player internally because the quality of the video, you can't see the number, you can't see who it was. So it's a mystery, but USC said they internally dealt with it. The player was disciplined. And apparently the authorities are going to talk to the kid if he wants to press charges or not for any injuries that were caused during the. It was really unnecessary, you know. I want to hear what you have to say. Go ahead.
Now, we know the type of punishment that the USC put on the player? Do we know what type of punishment he was given?
I don't know if I don't think they announced what they did to the player. I think they're trying to keep it in house. They're not trying to release anything yet. So
That's unsportsmanlike, and definitely that. Even though it's just a single player out of the multiple people that are on that team, you're still part of it. You're representing the name. So to do that, you're making them look really, really bad. So you could say this also about Cam Newton. When you do something this bad, it does show not only to yourself but to the entire team that you are representing.
yeah, and I agree with that as well. I don't know how the players picked up on that. Maybe they saw the video. Maybe some of them just didn't care. Maybe some of them were affected by it.
We didn't see much
There wasn't. Yeah, the USC did not talk about it very much. They're trying to keep it very low. I think it should be more of a talked about story today, but and that's exactly why I put it here to kind of address that. Yeah, I just think another thing too though, and I'm not defending what the player did, but I do think there needs to be limitations on running on the field after college games because a lot of the players like we saw here are angry at the time, right? And they're running back to the locker room and I see it all the time. There's so many fans on that field. They cover almost the entire proximity of the field, all 100 meters. And there's nowhere to walk. Everybody's trying to just push through these people they've never seen before, and they're all going crazy. They're all screaming at them, you suck, blah, 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 whatever. So, obviously they're going to get angry in the moment. So there needs to be limitation. You should wait until the other team officially gets to the locker room before you're even allowed to storm the field. That's just what I believe. I don't think you should take it out of the game because I think that's what college football, that's how they separate themselves from other football leagues. Not just NFL, like Arena Football, Canadian Football League. They don't do that. College football does. It's just something that just symbolizes college football. I don't think they should take it away completely, but I think there should be limitations.
Even at law, we still wait for the other team to at least get to the sideline before everyone just kind of rushes the field to, celebrate with the team that's won. We usually kind of wait. So, I guess I can see where you're saying with that, because it is kind of shoving it in their face. I can understand why he was upset, but that type of, action was not good. So, for what I can understand why they're upset, and he was upset, and why he did it, but definitely shouldn't have gone that far. But
Yeah.
again, you should be rushing the field, especially when there could definitely be a conflict of you running in front, as a fan, running in front of
And that's
the losing
exactly
team.
what I think. Yeah, that's exactly what I think. And it was a tough loss for them too because it was such a close game. They only lost by 3 points. I think the score was 30-27, and you have to think too that USC was right there. They're in the college football race, college football playoff race, and they're at number 5. So one of those top 4 teams goes down, and they're in. But they just lost this game, and they got knocked back to number 14th in the rankings now. So they're way back. I don't even know if they're in contention at this point anymore. They just totally lost because they were not expecting Washington State to win that one. But we're going to move on to the next story here just because of time. So we're gonna talk about NHL's opening night last night. I have a couple scores for you here, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna get to some big stories of the night, but the Toronto Maple Leafs defeat the Winnipeg Jets 7-2. St. Louis Blues defeat the Pittsburgh Penguins at home in Pittsburgh. The defending Stanley Cup champions go down 5-4 in overtime. Edmonton 3-0 against the Calgary Flames. Connor McDavid puts a hat trick on. Philadelphia Flyers versus the San Jose Sharks, 5-3. Philadelphia pulls out their first win of the season. So, and there's more big games to follow tonight as the Detroit Red Wings at home open the season at home tonight against the Minnesota Wild. That should be a great game to tune into. The Chicago Blackhawks, and I want to throw something in here too. The Chicago Blackhawks versus the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight. Penguins have back-to-back games. I don't understand how you do that, where you just immediately after taking a tough loss at home, you're immediately throwing these players back on a plane to Chicago, and now they got to go open up Chicago's season. I don't understand
They
that.
haven't like gone to Pittsburgh yet.
They've been in Pittsburgh one night. They just played a game, and now they got to play another one tonight. So I don't understand the scheduling by the NHL. And the Flyers and the Kings tonight as well. It's a huge rivalry game, and that will be on NBC Sports Network. Obviously, we got to go over the big story of the night, and that's celebration time in Pittsburgh. Stanley Cup champions, they raised the banner, they had the cup in-house, and the Blues came in and crashed the party. They came in, and Alex Pietrangelo went top shelf over Matt Murray, OT winner, and that was it for the Pittsburgh Penguins that night, and a shocker, to say the least.
The thing is, the Blues, like St. Louis, they were never really good when I first started watching NHL. All of a sudden, I don't know if it was last season or if what they got from this draft was, but they just started doing really well over time. I don't know when it started, but they just did.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, they're still looking for their first Stanley Cup ever. Not too many playoff appearances in the last 5 years, but they're an up-and-coming team. I'm not sure. I think they picked up a few players in the offseason worth naming, but I can't remember their names. But, I mean, just to be able to come into Pittsburgh, one of the toughest places to play in the National Hockey League, and pull out a victory there, especially in overtime too, that's got to be a confidence booster right there. They're gonna go home and they're gonna have some kind of trying to think. They're gonna come home and they're gonna have some kind of like energy, some different type of energy into coming into the next game. Momentum. That's what I was looking for. Sorry. And also I want to throw out there too, not trying to, best for last here. Connor McDavid hit a hat trick last night against the Calgary Flames. Now, my personal opinion, the Calgary Flames are no team to scream about, but Connor McDavid continues to prove why he deserves all the credit that he's getting. He really, cover of NHL 18, reigning league MVP, a bunch of different trophies from last season, just his performance last year. I think he broke the rookie record in goals. I don't know, this kid, could we start early comparing him to Wayne Gretzky?
I don't know about that. See, this is his like third or second year now in the NHL.
Yeah.
So
just about.
Giving him, I understand he has he's huge at the moment. He's done so much. He literally put up all the points on his team and against Calgary's not the best team on the planet, but they're a team somehow. But just this guy making all these points and doing all this stuff in his second, I don't remember. Is this second or third?
I think I want to say it's his third.
His third year, he's doing all this stuff, and he's going crazy. So I mean, you have legends like Wayne Gretzky who had to, if they were still playing, I don't know, but he definitely is up there in the top players, top skaters
Currently. Not with the legends yet.
It keeps like it though. He will be a legend.
Quickly, let's do a game picks for tonight's big game. Detroit Red Wings, Minnesota Wild in Detroit. Who you taking? I'm going to have to say I'm taking Detroit in this one. I think the home field
I'd say
advantage
Red
is really
Wings.
going to benefit in their favor. Pittsburgh versus Chicago. Who you taking? Chicago at home.
Chicago.
I'm going to take Chicago as well. Pittsburgh is not going to rebound off this loss. And then Philadelphia versus LA, big rivalry game.
Kings.
I'm saying Flyers in this one. The Flyers are coming off a win last night. I think they could do it. That's the end of our podcast. We are out of time. But thank you for tuning in for our first episode. We'll be back next week. We're going to do weekly podcast, and we'll see you later. Thank you.
Thank you. You really think the Flyers are going to win?
No, I really do.